All right, welcome back, the internet. We just had the Indianapolis weekend, and boy, do we have a couple things to talk about because it was a
It was
interesting weekend.
yeah, it was an event.
And I'm no longer sick, so I have my wits about me. I'm realizing we didn't talk about a couple things last weekend at Pocono because physically I was here, but mentally I was not because of good old COVID. But we're gonna try to cover everything or most things today. So, kicking it off, we had the trucks back at IRP for the first time in what 10 years, something like that, 10, 11 years.
Yeah, yeah, it's been a minute.
So I didn't even realize they stopped going to IRP in 2011, but oh well. I thought it was much
Um,
sooner for some reason.
'Cause I think the last time we were there was like 2013, 2014.
Is
So
that
it's
Rockingham? I thought that was the last
no,
Rockingham race.
it might have been. I think the it was like the truck series.
Yeah, because I think the last Rockingham race for the truck series was like 2013, 2014. Because I remember the broadcast, they said they hadn't been to IRP since 2011, which for some reason feels way too recent. I don't know why.
Yeah, I know it's been a minute, but it was kind of weird because it just kind of ended randomly.
I just said El Mayo, never mind, we're not going back there.
Yeah, but I think you'll see the Xfinity series back there soon after their eventful race.
Dude, it would be fun to see the Xfinity cars at IRP, but I also don't want to take away from the trucks either. But the truck race is actually really fucking good. Like there was a lot happening for the entire race.
Yeah, it was a pretty packed race, but I mean I think they can still do uh like a back to back schedule.
Back to back schedule, like
Like they still have the trucks for Friday and then just do like a Saturday race for the Xfinity series.
oh, at IRP, they could
Yeah,
pull something off. I mean, I'm not against it. I'm just like I don't know what I'm thinking. My brain is just like I'm not sick anymore, but I still got a little bit of cough. So if you hear me clearing my throat every 8 seconds, it's because I'm trying not to cough up a lung here. But the truck race though, like I saw a lot happening on the track. Like there was a lot of trucks sliding around. There was a lot of contact. There was a lot of just like good short track racing going on. And so I think the and a packed grandstands. I don't know if they sold out, but it definitely looked sold out. And that's something that made me happy was the fact that not only was there a good ass race happening, but the grandstands were just slammed.
yeah. No, they definitely look packed there. But yeah, it was good to see them kind of go back and it wasn't like oh, excuse me, sorry. It wasn't like where they go back and it's like a mid pack stand. It was completely like filled. So yeah, it was nice to see it um, kind of sell out like that. So
You know, things you love to see. So now there are two things of note that happened in the truck race. I think you already know what I'm poking at. So, what do you think of the host of our incident with Colby Howard? Because
um
that was a big controversy that happened toward the end of the
yeah,
race.
I think it kind of got blown out because of just what happened later on the race with John Hunter. But I feel like it should still be kind of treated the same um, compared to that as well. Like it wasn't really called for him to do that, just to kind of take him out like nothing. Um, but I don't think it was necessary for him to do that. I think it should have been handled a lot differently than what it was. So
Did Hocevar ever explain that? Because I'm just thinking about that now. Was there ever an interview or anything after that?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
it just kind of happened and no one
no
said
one really
anything.
said. Yeah, no one really said anything. Because
Okay.
where did he finish? He finished. Uh, Kosovar finished 21st. So
Yeah.
there is no point of them doing an interview with him.
I mean, that's
So
fair. I just because then Colby Howard finished 32nd after they were having a career run apparently
yeah.
for that team. And so it's like that. I'm just like, that's just uncalled for. Just right hooking somebody. Like if because watching the replay, going back and looking at it, Colby Howard did nothing wrong. He bumped him, yeah, he moved him out of the way, but he didn't put him in the wall. He didn't wreck him. He didn't like bulldoze him up through the corner. He just bumped him. That was it. You look at the replays, it's just simple, run of the mill, textbook short track bump and run. So for Hocevar to come back and right hook the man coming down the straightaway and put him in the wall, it's a great way to hurt somebody too, because wham him up in the wall, hit on. So like if Hocevar had gone into the next corner and repaid the favor, gave him a bump back and put Colby Howard back up the hill, that would have been fine. But he just, I don't know. I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know what he was mad. That's why I'm like,
He wasn't.
yeah, I know. That's why I wanted to see if Hocevar had said anything, because I'm just like, it just blew my mind that he would think that it was okay to just right hook a guy down the front stretch like that after a very clean bump. It was a very clean bump.
Yeah, no, it was definitely uncalled for. Yeah, and it's funny because it's coming from a guy that got injured from a wreck, and for him to do something like that, it's just kind of like, it's
Because he got clobbered at, was it New Hampshire?
the Gateway.
Gateway, that's right. Sorry, they're the same track.
Yeah. But
yeah, so
I mean, regardless, both situations is just kind of uncalled for, and it kind of sucks too because it's like, the whole John Hunter Nemechek one where he pretty much just drove it in deep and took out the
Taylor Gray.
He was having a really good run and then just boom, he's out.
He could have gotten him too. He really did that to himself.
Yeah, it's just it's very unfortunate.
Because didn't John Hunter have newer tires than Tanner Gray?
I think he had older tires.
Older tires, okay. Because
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember what the scenario was there.
I remember he was what was it? He was about to get passed. Like I think he might have held him off, but the caution came out, and then when the restart happened, I think he just spun the tires, and then Taylor Gray just got a really good jump on him, but then John Hunter just drove it in deep. And
He said, "No, I have to win this race." And just took him out.
Exactly.
And just like, what? That's another thing. It's like, what the hell? What was the plan there? Because he just blatantly wrecked the man. Obviously, the caution's going to come back out. Like, and then you had Grant Enfinger and everybody else behind him with brand new tires. So it's like, honestly, I don't think any of them would have won that race. Because if Nemechek's plan was to take out Tanner Gray, have a clean restart, win the race, that was a flawed plan from the beginning. Because that restart was hectic enough that the guys with fresh tires might have actually gotten stuck in traffic. And so had John Hunter actually raced Tanner Gray cleanly, he would have had a chance to win that race. But because he took him out, he took himself out of the race win, because now you have all these guys with fresh tires starting right behind him. And, naturally, who is it that took out Nemechek? It was
I think that was Zane Smith.
It was Zane Smith. He just went in there and bodied the Ford truck. Cause like, hey yo, that's my fucking teammate. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Nemechek had it coming. Like, I don't know what the plan was. He might have had a similar thought process as Hocevar, but didn't work out for any of them.
No, but I mean Zane Smith, he's not he's not innocent from this either, because I mean he took out the 18 earlier too.
I guess, but it
But
wasn't as blatant. I don't think.
Well, I think with him, like he just drove it in deep and then just shoved the 18 up the wall. So,
Oh, that's right. That was probably just a that didn't look super intentional. It's hard to like judge that one, but the other instances, you can definitely tell were intentional.
Yeah.
So.
Oh no, yeah, for sure, those were intentional.
Oh yeah, so that's where I'm at. I'm just like, it was a really good race, but there were a couple of things that made you go, huh.
Yeah, I was just like very. I kind of bit my tongue on a couple times.
God, I was on the edge of my seat. I'll give it that. Boy, it was an entertaining race. So,
Yeah.
but
it was really entertaining compared to the Xfinity Series. I'll say that.
Oh yeah, I will say because that's something I wanted to touch on after this. So it's like Grant Enfinger hasn't won a race in what, a little over a year at this point now. Looking comes through the fire and the flames to pick up that win after
Yeah,
doing not too much this season. So and he's in the playoffs too, isn't he? So he's in the next round now.
yeah, he's already locked into the next round, so
Yeah,
he's set.
he went from zero to hero real fast.
Yeah, he's the true hero, and with GMS too, so it's a brand new team. I think he was with Thorsport last year.
I think yeah, because Thorsport shafted him. Was he driving? No,
Yeah,
I think he's always driven for GMS.
no, because I remember he did Thorsport part time, I think, and then he drove
That's
the
right. Oh,
the
that's right.
nine. I
I
think.
forgot about that. Yeah. No, you're right. I'm just slow today. But yeah, because he did drive for Thorsport, and then they were like, our championship contender part time, and so now
Which
he's
was kind
over
of
at
confusing
GMS.
too. Like,
I remember that confused the hell out of me. It's like you're gonna take your most competitive truck and make it part and just shaft him like that.
exactly. I'm like, that makes no sense. But
How much you want to bet they had the surprise Pikachu face when he told them he was moving to GMS?
they're
They're like, "How could you do this to us? Oh no!"
like, but we want you as part time.
He's like, "Yeah, but I want a championship."
They're
You know
like,
what?
no.
Watch Grant Enfinger go and win the championship this season.
I honestly would not doubt that.
I mean, it's a tall order considering he hasn't done too much this season, but to come out of IRP just from the top rope and just win that race, he because yeah, he was at the bottom of the playoff field. Now he's at the top. So yeah, he really did go from zero to hero in like 8 seconds.
Yeah, but I honestly did not have him listed as moving on to the next round.
He was not
I
on
I
the
was
Grant
I was
Enfinger making the next round was not on your bingo card.
yeah, no. I had him and Matt Crafton missing it.
See, Mike Crafton still might miss it just because he didn't finish too well Friday night.
He
Oh, he finished in
was
ninth. Okay, that surprised me. I thought he was a lot lower than that.
yeah, but I
He
mean
hasn't been making a lot of noise.
no. And then he was like doing terrible during the whole race too.
Yeah, I think that's why I was surprised when I just looked up and I saw he finished ninth. Because I think every time I looked at the scoreboard, he was like floating around 20th or so.
Yeah, I think he's tied with Eckes with last place.
Oh, okay. See, I don't have my points open. I just have my results open. But we're not at the Xfinity race. Do you have any more notes on the trucks or not?
Nope, that is it.
Nope. Okay, so the Xfinity race, gonna be honest, wasn't anything to write home about. It was I don't want to say it wasn't an underwhelming race, but definitely nothing really super notable happened in that race that I can recall. Other than the fact that Bubba Wallace once again gets his ass beat at a road course. Thrown
Well, I
into.
think he had a mechanical issue.
Yeah, no, he did. That's what I'm saying. Is like the man and road course is just they're not having a good time right now. That
Yeah,
and
no.
there were what 7 full-time Cup drivers in the field or something like that.
Yeah, there was a
Because
good amount.
it was Bowman, Chastain, Briscoe,
Briscoe,
uh,
uh,
scrolling, Ty Dillon,
Ty Dillon.
Austin Dillon. So both the Dillons.
I didn't even realize Dillon was in the race.
That's 5. Bubba Wallace would have been the 6th. So yeah, there were 6 full-time Cup drivers, and then Allmendinger was double dipping, and Ty Gibbs was double dipping. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It was a
those are
uh, pretty calm race, I would say.
I
Nothing
will
too
say, I guess there
exciting.
is one thing of note. AJ Allmendinger was he came back to win that pretty good because he opened up really strong. They had some kind of issue about part way through the race, and he came back and won it. So I guess that is the one thing I note that happened during the Xfinity race.
Yeah, that is true. Um, because I think at one point he was struggling, then he just came back and you know,
Yeah, just Oh, Josh Berry trying to assassinate all the monster cars. There's something that
Oh yeah,
happened.
that's right. I forgot about that.
Just took out both. He took out both of them in a span of like what? Like just a
2 or 3
handful of laps,
laps.
wasn't it? Yeah.
Man was on a
Fucking,
mission to eliminate all monster cars.
he really did. And then then he went skating by one of them on the last
The
lap, I
last
think it
lap,
was.
yeah.
Yeah. So I think he got hit from behind because whoever that white car was behind him on the last lap really sent him. But the fact that he went skating past a monster car was just kind of ironic. But
Icing on the cake.
yeah,
Yeah.
looks
I'm
like he
kind of
went to
surprised.
take one final swipe.
It's like, let me get one more shot at it.
One more.
One more time. But Riley Herbst actually did pretty good. He finished sixth. Despite the
The
being spun out.
assassination attempt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did Ty Gibbs finish
He finished
after
eighth,
all that? Eighth. Oh yeah, there he is. Okay. So yeah.
surprisingly.
So where is okay? Because Barry got dumped on the last lap. He finished 14th, where he ended up.
Yeah. And then, who else? Kyle Weatherman. He finished 30th.
There's
This,
Jeff Burton having another terrible, terrible race. Upside down on Pocono, and then track
This
bar
week-
breaks before we even take the green flag.
I know, it's such a crappy way to start the race.
What does it say? Laps completed 0. Oh no, he never even started.
That's terrible.
I thought they fixed it at some point. I didn't realize he never even started the race. Oh, that's
No, they
awful.
parked it as soon as the race started.
Oh no, that's terrible. I thought, okay, no. See, I knew they weren't there at the start, but I thought they were allowed to fix this stuff.
That's what I thought too, but I guess
I thought
it was
they were
just
just
too
gonna-
too severe.
They just said, "Fuck it, we're not gonna fix it. We're just gonna go home."
They're like, nah, I'm too tired. Let's just go home, guys.
Yeah, that's fair. But it gave us the truck race and the Xfinity race. Obviously, the truck race was way better than the Xfinity race. But I made this joke to you earlier. We got the finger dinger weekend.
The finger dinger,
The finger
And
dinger
almost
weekend.
almost the
We-
double duty.
We almost got the trifecta today. If AJ Allmendinger had pulled off the win today, I would have shit my pants. It would have been great.
That would have been hilarious.
Yeah, so now moving on to the Cup race. Holy fuck. This made up for the Xfinity race being kind of underwhelming because it started with chaos and it ended with even more chaos. I don't even know where to
What?
start to cover the Cup race. I don't even know how to start this. It was entertaining, I'll give it that, but oh my
it
god.
was from lap 1 all the way to the end.
Dude, how many cars did we spin out in the first 3 laps? Like 5?
There's about like 5 of them.
5 or 6? And then speaking of assassination attempts, Kyle Larson and Ty Dillon. Jesus.
I was not expecting that.
I don't think anybody was expecting that.
The dude like literally like darted towards him. Like poor Ty is just like, he's just running his race and then he just gets darted by Larson.
That was terrifying to watch. Like, they cut back from commercial and the freaking 42 car is just destroyed. And to see a next gen car just destroyed like that, you knew something awful had just happened. And so I was like, did he just get off the track and like destroy a tire barrier or something? Like, that's kind of what I initially thought. And then they said that the 5 car was sitting there, but the 5 car looked fine, which is also scary, is the fact that the 5 car just looked like it had a dent or two in it.
Yeah.
But when they showed that replay, I was not prepared for that. He just went barreling in there, jumped the curb, and just completely blindsided Ty Dillon, and just destroyed that car. And that goes
'cause,
back to what I don't like is how well these cars hold up. Like the 42 was destroyed, but the 5 car, as fast as he went in there and as hard as he hit that 42 car, I'd expect more damage on the 5 car too. But the 5 car held up really well, and that's concerning.
Yeah. That's really, really concerning. Because I think he hit him like driver's side too.
Yeah, he did. I think it was more of the yeah, it was driver's side, but it was more behind the driver, thank God. It wasn't like a door hit. It was more of back in the wheel well area. But even then, the fact that the car looked virtually okay after sailing in there at 120 miles an hour and wiping out the 42 is not a good sign. Because they had an interview with Joey Logano was it a couple days ago or was it this morning where they said I think they asked him
Oh,
about the thing, and he said that he didn't need the data to see to know that the hits were harder, which tells me that there's
yeah.
definitely a difference in structure.
Oh, yeah. No, you can definitely tell. Um, yeah, I remember hearing about that interview, but it's just kind of sad to see because yeah, these cars are just like they don't absorb any of the impact. It's just all to the driver.
It's like Blaney's wreck at Pocono. The car just looks like it's about to sneeze, just like it's just been mildly inconvenienced after the hit.
Yeah,
Or is
because before,
I
I mean,
don't.
these cars you would see them like kind of just get airborne, and they'll kind of fly around, and the driver will get out, they'll be fine. But now it's just like you see these cars hit the wall. It's just like it's very stiff, and it's just kind of concerning because the impact doesn't look that bad, but you've seen the same wrecks with the old car, and you've seen a lot more violent wrecks. So you kind of get concerned that um, the drivers are pretty much just absorbing too much of this impact.
Yeah, see, that's my concern, especially with the Kurt Busch scenario, where it's like that was a pretty. I don't want to say a run of the mill Pocono wreck, but it's not an uncommon crash to see at Pocono to have somebody come up off the corner like that and just destroy the car. We've seen that with the Gen 6 car. We've seen it with the Gen 4. We've seen it with the Xfinity and truck. Like it's a very common wreck at Pocono to have something like that happen. So the fact that it happened in a Cup car and now Kurt Busch has been sidelined for 2 weeks, that is a massive red flag.
Yeah,
Especially when you go back and you look at the Kurt Busch car, where it's like the impact zone is crunched down, which is good, but the rest of the car looks fine. It like if you were to just look at the car without seeing the crash, you would think he just backed it into the wall. But that's not what happened. He backed it into the wall and then came around and slapped that front end really hard. But you couldn't really tell that just by looking at the car, how well it
yeah.
held up.
And then I guess somebody showed a tweet that they made out. I guess it was with Larson's car. I don't know if you saw it, but it was from NASCAR's Twitter, and it said, "Oh, these cars." Actually, let me see if I can find it.
All right, because I don't think I saw the tweet. Dog go bork. Can't wait to blow out your audio.
Yeah, Bork.
But my other good example that I like to go to is once again back at Pocono is Ryan Blaney's crash. Because
Here
like
it
I
is.
said it last week. Okay, what's the tweet?
It says the safety on these cars is amazing, and it shows a tweet. It shows a picture of Larson's car being towed away, and a lot of people were like, "Are you sure about that?" Because Kurt Busch would like a word.
That Kurt Busch would like to speak with you. You said it was on NASCAR's page?
Yeah,
I don't want to scroll that long. It's gonna take me a minute. But with with Blaney's wreck at Pocono, you can get the side by side too. You can because I mentioned this in the Pocono video, and I'm gonna go back to it really fast. Alex LeBay's crash and Ryan Blaney's crash, you put them side by side, they're almost the same crash. Like, I'm not. I could do the math behind it, but to kind of figure out how fast they were going when they hit the wall. But you look at LeBay's crash, you look at Ryan Blaney's crash. They hit the same part of the wall, the same angle, probably give or take a couple miles an hour, roughly the same speed. And the difference in how the cars held up is just it's almost concerning because it's like I said, Ryan Blaney's car looks like it's just about to sneeze, like somebody just like poked it in the nose, whereas LeBay's car was just destroyed.
yeah,
And if when you're looking at crash results, you're looking at how energy works and how it all has to be dissipated. I would take the LeBay crash over the Blaney crash because the Blaney crash looks like it would hurt a hell of a lot more than LeBay's crash does. LeBay's crash looks more violent, but it looks more violent because more of the energy is being dissipated. It's going away from the driver. Whereas with Blaney's crash, the car has less damage, but that means more of the energy is going straight through to Byron. Not Byron, to Blaney. And that's the problem we're having is we can't have the drivers absorb all this impact.
yeah, yeah. It's definitely concerning. Because it's not being pointed. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are talking about it, but I don't think it's getting enough attention that it should be. You know,
I mean,
it's
it's
like
starting to get attention now after Kurt Busch has been sidelined for 2 weeks.
yeah, but I feel like it still gets kind of like tucked underneath because you have all these other headlines. They talk about Carl's contract. The DQ situation. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like it didn't get talked about as much, but I feel like if this kind of continues on, it's going to kind of build up a lot more talk about it.
I just want something to get fixed before somebody really does get hurt, because it's like it's bad enough that we have a driver sidelined for a concussion. We don't even know if he's going to come back next week. He might not even be back next week. And so it's already bad enough that we have a driver out on concussion, but if the drivers are saying that the hits feel harder and we have a driver sidelined for concussion, how much longer is it going to be until we actually have somebody hurt because of one of these crashes because the car just held up too well? Like that's my concern, is that we're going to go somewhere like not even like Pocono, but somewhere like Pocono where the speeds are higher, because I know they're nerfing the cars for Daytona and Talladega, and so you can still get hurt there, but my concern is we're going to go to like a mile and a half somewhere like Vegas. Yeah, Kansas, Vegas, somewhere like that. Someone's going to get in this horrendous ass crash and actually get hurt in it because these cars are built like bricks. All it takes is, and you know how racing is. It's unpredictable. These cars will crash wherever, whenever.
And imagine if it's like a playoff driver too.
Yeah, see that too. It's like all it takes is somebody coming up the track, getting turned, just in an unfortunate spot, just getting clobbered in the wrong spot or getting hit in a weird way, or even a single car crash like with Kurt. All it takes is just the car spinning in just the correct way for somebody to get hurt. And when the cars are built like bricks, it's really easy to hurt somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it definitely needs to be fixed. It's getting to a point where more over time, more and more drivers are going to start
shortcutting turns.
So
I mean, they should. They really gotta. We gotta do what the IndyCar drivers did at Pocono after the Wickens crash. Remember when half of them refused to get in their cars because they said the fence wasn't fixed?
yeah.
Like,
I mean, I hate
we're
to say
gonna
it, but
do
it's
something
going to
like
have to
that.
come to a point like that where driver safety is a priority over what NASCAR wants. So
Yeah, it's like the cars look great. They're just a little bit too stiff. So if the drivers have a genuine concern, they actually need to do something about it, because NASCAR, I love NASCAR, but corporations are going to be corporations, and as long as nobody's getting hurt, they're going to continue doing what they're doing until something actually happens. And so I don't want to wait until a driver actually gets hurt. If the drivers genuinely feel like there's something going on, that something needs to be fixed in the cars, they need to let it be known loud and clear that, hey, there's a safety concern with these cars. Because what I'm seeing, I know the drivers and teams are seeing it. They have the actual crash data to look at. We don't have the crash data to look at, and we can look at those cars and go, ooh, something's wrong.
yeah, no, it's very concerning. But
Do you think it has something to do with the fact that the cars are built in like 3 different pieces now?
I think so, because the cars aren't built the way they used to be. Because everything now is just like you bolt it on and then you're good to go. As to where before, everything used to be kind of just welded together.
Yeah, it was all uniform as one piece, kind of. Now it's 3 different pieces. I'm starting to think that has something to do with it.
And the thing is, like, you have like these parts that are bolted on. It's like, it's you want them to be a lot more durable, because something that's just bolted on can just easily break off. But at the same time, you want something that's going to give. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just something that they're going to have to look at, see if they're going to be able to fix it, because you can't just keep having these issues where you're building a car where these drivers are just taking a hit constantly, and over time, like it's just gonna affect them, because the more impacts that they take, the worse it's gonna be on their health, because you're gonna have fewer drivers racing for a longer period of time, depending on concussion protocols, just about a bunch of other things, because you don't want a driver retiring at like 34 because he has a bunch of health issues from the crashing all the time. So
Yeah, because that's why we stepped away from the Gen 4 car and the concrete walls, is because it's like the Gen 4 car was a little bit too fragile. Like there's also too much. Like that's why the COT car was praised so much for its safety, because it was the perfect middle ground where it was a car that would break away, but it wouldn't break away so much that it then became a problem. Because that's why we got away from the Gen 4. It was because the Gen 4 did its job, it broke away, it crumpled, so all the energy was dissipated, but it crumpled a little bit too much, and that's also what was hurting drivers.
yeah,
And so when the COT came in and it found that middle ground, I just think we need to go back and do something like what the COT was doing, because there's too flimsy and then there's too stiff. And I think we got away from too flimsy with the Gen 4, but now we're here with the new problem of being too stiff with the next gen car. So I feel like we need to figure out how to build these cars to keep, because there is a way to do it. You can still build the cars with the bodies like they are, but we need to revisit kind of what the COT and the Gen 6 did and see if we can incorporate that into the next gen, because we're now approaching too stiff territory.
yeah. And you're seeing it a lot towards like the front of the car, because like I mean, like underneath these cars they have like these composite bodies that are just kind of like they're shaped to whatever manufacturer that they have. Because like like Toyota, they have the Camry shaped like underneath the car to where it's pretty much just like a body armor pretty much, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, they'll have to figure something out to have it a little bit more give than what it has right now.
I mean, I'm not an engineer. I don't. So take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt. But
Yeah.
honestly, just I feel like it is maybe something to do with the way the cars are built now, with that like three separate parts being bolted together. That just honestly, that might be part of it. If it's not, then it's not. Like I said, I might be completely wrong. But what I do know is that
Something
something's got to figure out something. Hopefully next season. I don't obviously nothing is going to get done this season, but hopefully during the off season, NASCAR can take a look at the cars and see what they can do to make them just a little bit more squishy, because it's a bit much.
Yeah, no. Yeah, something needs to be done. But overall, it's been a hectic week, hectic day.
Oh God, yeah.
You
So
got
yeah, back to the actual, back to the race. Stage one, just we had like 8,000 car spin. The tent blow onto the track. One of the fucking haulers got stuck in the tunnel, so there was that too.
I don't know how he got stuck, because I'm just like, how did he get in?
I really don't understand. I think it might be a similar issue as to what happened at I think it was Atlanta. Yeah, where they just took the wrong tunnel, which I've never been to a track that has two tunnels. Like I've only been to Vegas and Phoenix, and as far as I'm aware, there's only one tunnel.
Yeah, that's all I know about. But
So I guess the Indy. Well, I mean the Indy Road Course it's a fucking big ass track, so it makes sense it would have multiple tunnels because of how big that track is. But
because I went like once, and I know they have like multiple areas, but the only one I've been through is like the one through turns 1 and 2.
okay,
Like
based on the picture, this one looked like it was right behind the pit
one and
road.
two. Yeah.
So I don't know where this tunnel was, but clearly it was the wrong tunnel. The poor bastard got stuck in there. But
Yeah.
that at the same time the tent was blowing around onto the track. God damn it. Just like this race. And then we had all the tire failures in stage 2. God.
Which was just like chaotic.
Yeah, that's what really started all this. Stage 3, the start of stage 3 was pretty tame. And then shit hit the fan. So that's something else I want to talk about before we drag this on too long. What do you what do you think of that finish? Curious. Because you know where I stand on it. I'm going to get to that in a second, but I want to see how you feel about the finish. We all knew it was going to turn to shit, but
Yeah, I knew it was going to be turning to shit, but it just felt like a demolition derby, to be honest. The last 2 restarts, it's just guys running into each other, just banging into each other, trying to move each other out of the way. Yeah, it was just a shit show. Because like everybody, once the restart happened, everybody went into one, and then they just felt like, you know what? If I run into this guy, fuck it, I'm just gonna take him out.
It's almost like you wanted to start on the inside because if you started on the inside, you could just lean on everyone next to you.
Yeah, and you saw that with like Logano. You saw that with Suarez. You saw that with a bunch of other guys. It's just
Everybody.
yeah,
No one was innocent.
nobody was innocent. They just wrecked each other.
See,
So
I knew the second that last yellow, not the last yellow, but the yellow that lined everything up for the bomb to go off. I knew the second that caution came out, I was like, well, there goes the field. And there the field went. So
yeah, yeah, no, it was just a crapshoot. I mean, I knew Reddick was gonna kind of pull away, but
that's assuming he didn't get decimated going into turn one.
yeah, and that's also something else too, because like Elliott, he was like the only guy that could compete with Reddick, and he got taken
He
out.
got decimated. Yeah.
So
He said, "Ah, shit."
uh, yeah,
Where did Elliott finish after all that? He ended up where is he?
he ended up in the back, like 16.
I'm trying to find him. 16th. Okay, that's actually not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be like fucking 25th or something like that.
Yeah. Excuse me.
But I guess that's not bad. But now Ross Chastain's move, the big old,
The big oopsie.
the big oopsie on the day. What do you think about the officiating on that one,
At first,
or
I
just
was,
the move in general?
it's so hard to say because at first I was like, well, he didn't mean to, but at the same time, it's like I watched videos of it and like I see him just kind of just like gas it up and then just went for it.
Well, he did slow down, so there was a mild attempt to make the corner.
Yeah, a
But you
little
saw
bit.
everybody else was already missing the corner.
Yeah, and then he just he literally just like darted through that corner. But I think it's just a flaw that NASCAR had on their end. And I think they kind of saw it and they're just like, I don't think they would have been right if they were to let him take the win because, it's kind of a cheap corner.
But I think this is one of those moments where I'm going to put my black hat on. And I'm actually going to defend Ross Chastain here and say that there was a mild attempt to make the corner. Like, he did slow down, but, like, they were fucking 4 wide going down in there. There was no way any of them were going to make the corner. So if Ross had turned in there, he would have been in the grass with everybody else. So he just decided, I'm just going to take the L. I'm going to go around the access road, which is the rule. The rule is if you're not going to make the corner, take the access road. There was no way in hell Ross Chastain was going to make that corner, so he chose the access road. It is not his fault that everybody shit their pants going into turn one. Like, if you look at the replay, too, when everybody got into Blaney and Blaney went around, that's the entire field just kind of stopped. Like, everybody just stopped. Like, the only person who really got away was Reddick. Everybody else had to slow down or stop or take evasive action, and everybody else was spinning through the grass. And so there was a huge loss of momentum from literally the entire field going into one. And Ross Chastain is doing exactly what the rule said. Not going to make the corner, take the access road. And I think the entire field checked up just enough to give that Ross Chastain had the time to go around the access road and merge back in. And boy, did he merged in like a bat out of hell.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to defend Ross Chastain here and say he finished second today because that was not his fault. That was a rule that NASCAR said. That was Chastain following the rule and everybody just happening to shit their pants going into one, which happened to give Chastain the advantage there.
Because I'm looking at video right now, and like, I can see the point where he's slowing down, but it's like there's still room for him to kind of fit in. There's still a little bit of room for where he could fit in, because he darted off as probably right before. Yeah, he darted off into the other corner right before that little curb starts.
I'm trying to find a replay. I found the awkward interview. I don't have the replay yet. But
Yes.
just from what I saw, I had to make a couple runs, and so I've only seen the replay a handful of times, but just my initial reaction to the replay and what happened is just that NASCAR made a rule. Chastain followed the rule. Everybody else shit their pants. It's not his fault. So I'm gonna. This is like the one time this season I'll actually defend Ross Chastain and say he didn't do anything wrong. He came out of the merging road at like a bat out of hell, and boy, that was fun to watch too. The man was power sliding through that chicane. I thought he was gonna wreck it.
Because Dylan went through it too, and it looks like he was like darting out through there too as well.
No, Dylan slowed down a lot more actually. If I can find the replay I'm looking for. It looks like Dylan slowed down more than Chastain, because I think Chastain knew that he needed to do this right, and so he just took the opportunity to barrel through there. Whereas I think it looks like Dylan slowed down a lot more. If I can find the replay, I know it exists somewhere. I don't know why I can't find it.
There's one on NASCAR on Fox.
Yeah. Okay, I think I found it. Yeah, but yeah, because I know two cars. People have been missing that corner all day.
Yeah, but
so, yeah,
I think the way I see it is just they're put in a tough position. And I say that for NASCAR because if he was to win the race, it's kind of just like, it's a flaw in the track where somebody just took a corner and just beat the whole field pretty much.
Well, that's also because the whole field shit their pants. Like, now that I'm looking at the replay, I don't have the right angle, so I can't see Chastain and Dylan going through there. But from the initial wreck, nobody made that corner. And so there's already a huge loss of momentum. Yeah, because I think the first car through there was Cindric, and Cindric was running like, 6th or 7th? And so, like, that's the entire lead being taken out in one corner. Cindric makes it through, and then Blaney goes around, and that's the entire field behind him now having to basically stop. Yeah, because Harrison Burton slowed down a lot, which stacked up everybody behind him. So the only cars that really made it through cleanly were Reddick, Cindric, and Suarez.
Well, Reddick, he got through pretty. He got through fine, but
yeah. Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Is like the only cars that make it really through without losing all their momentum were Reddick, Cindric, and Suarez. Because looking at the replay, Harrison Burton checked up, and that stacked up Logano and everybody behind him. And then Blaney is sideways in front of Allmendinger and whoever that blue car is. I think that's Gilliland, yeah. And so they had to check up a lot. And that's literally the entire field behind him. And so it's really hard to say Ross Chastain cheated when the rule is if you're not going to make the corner. And he wasn't going to make the corner. Nobody made the corner. And so I think Ross knew that if he had tried to go down to their corner, he would have been part of the stack up. And so I think his thought process was, I'm just going to take the chicane and come out where I come out. I don't think he was ready for literally the entire field to be parked in turn one. And I think when he realized the whole field was parked in turn one, he decided to just fucking blast through the access road. Because if I can find the replay I'm thinking of, the overhead shot, if I'm remembering correctly, Austin Dillon slowed down way more than Ross Chastain did. Ross Chastain went barreling through there, which there is no rule saying you can't barrel through there. The rule just says you have to take the access road. It didn't say how fast. So,
yeah, I don't know. It's tough to call for me.
You know what? I'm gonna stand by it. I'm gonna defend Ross Chastain on this one. My house is gonna be egged when this video goes up. But I'm gonna defend him on this one.
The one thing I don't like though is that they're kind of just trying to call him out on TV. I don't know if you saw the post-race interview.
I did hear it, but he looked so over it. He was like, "Why am I here?"
He's like, "Seriously." I mean, I get it, but it's just doing that in front of live television. Like, honestly, like, do you think he's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I did that on purpose. We planned that"? It's like, no, he's not gonna say that.
Well, how do you plan something like that anyway?
I don't know.
That's not really something you plan either, unless you are somehow Emperor Palpatine and can pull the strings through the entire race. But if you had Emperor Palpatine powers, you could pull the strings the entire race. Why not just pull the strings so you can win?
Exactly.
So
this is stupid. I hated that interview. It was just...
I think everybody hated that interview. I did because
They're like, oh, so like you're. He's like, did you think you would gain any advantage by taking that turn? He already knew where he was going to. He was just like seriously.
They're doing their damnedest to paint Ross Chastain as the bad guy, where he's not doing a bad job at painting that picture himself, but
Yeah.
that was just kind of funny because now we have the duality of Ross Chastain interviews. We had the interview that went on for way too long a couple weeks ago, and it just got visibly uncomfortable for everybody involved. And now we have the incredibly short Ross Chastain interview that was equally as uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we got the double duty on that one.
Oh yeah. But how about for Toyota? Actually performed pretty well for a road course.
They did it. They figured it out.
About time.
I'm dying. I ate a peanut, and that was a mistake.
Uh-oh.
I'm not allergic to peanuts. It's just stuck in my throat. My throat is still mildly angry from having COVID, so I put a peanut in there, and the peanut said, "LMAO, let me just scratch this throat real quick."
He scraped the wall.
Yeah. Just all the way down. Just. All right. I think I'm good now, but I need to stop eating these peanuts before they kill me. Okay. All right. But yeah, Toyota finally did something decent today.
Yeah.
Fuck this peanut.
And who else? Bell was running pretty good too. He was running up front for a good chunk of the race. Kyle was up
And
there for a little bit.
No.
And he's tired.
They did it. They finished better than 30th.
I know.
We had who's the top Toyota? It is
Bubba.
Bubba?
Top
Oh, it is.
five.
He finished 5th. Look at that. Hell yeah, Toyota. And then we got
Somebody
Busch
was
11
saying
and
though that
Bell
he cut
12.
the corner,
I'm pretty sure a few people cut the corner. I ain't even gonna lie.
but people were saying that they wanted him black flagged because he cut the corner. I'm like,
I'd have to see a replay on
I-
that to give a judgment call on it.
I was looking at every single replay and I didn't see one bit where he cut the corner. So
On the end of the race, that final restart,
yeah,
I'd have to see. I think I was too focused on Ross Chastain power sliding through the corners. That was just.
yeah,
I will say the man does know how to put on a show when he does get up front because that. I didn't even know where he came from. I didn't even realize that he had cut the corner, or not cut the corner. I didn't even realize he had taken the access road at first. I just thought he made it through the stack up.
yeah. I saw him.
So to watch
I
this
saw him
man
peeled
power
out.
sliding
I'm
through
like,
the corner.
oh, he's just gonna take the short the other access road. But
Could you imagine the riots if Ross Chastain had won that race? Like if he had crossed the line first, if he had held off Reddick.
oh my god,
Could you imagine how that would have gone down?
no, I think NASCAR wouldn't allow that. They would just say like, nah, you're DQ'd.
They would have too. And like,
And
scenario
that's the
time.
thing,
Let's
too.
let's say that happens, but Reddick doesn't make the corner. Let's say there's a scenario where Ross Chastain took the access road because he wasn't going to make the corner, but everybody crashed going into one. Like they took out, like somehow they had managed to spin out Reddick and everybody up front, and Ross Chastain didn't come out in front. How do you call that now? Because it's like you have the man who took the access road, but everybody crashed going into one. So it's like
That's like a
had they taken out Reddick, that'll really put you in a weird spot to be officiate.
oh yeah. I feel like with him it wasn't as bad because he finished second, but if he was leading the race and won it, that would have been tougher to call for sure.
Yeah. Oh, where do they credit Ross Chastain as finishing? 27th. Shit.
Yeah. Last.
What happened to
of the-
Suarez? Why is Suarez 28th? Wasn't he up there?
Oh,
he was part
'cause
of the drivers that cleared it.
He got punted.
Did he get punted?
Did you? I don't know if you saw, but I guess on Peacock when they did the post race, Blaney. Something happened to Suarez. I think he got like a flat, but post race Blaney like punted him out of the way.
Oh, no, I didn't see that. I missed that. There's beef.
There's beef between Blaney and Suarez.
Whoops.
Um,
Blaney was running really well, though, so that was kind of shitty for him to just get taken out like that. But then again, at this point, you kind of got to expect it. After they'd done it the entire race, you kind of just got to... It's one of those things where you just kind of hold your breath and pray going into turn one because you know somebody's going to bash your door in if you're on the outside.
yeah.
Even if you're on the inside, goddamn. There were no survivors today.
Yeah, there was none at all. It was a shit show today for sure. Um,
It was such a mess.
yeah.
It was such a mess today, right down to the finish. I'm glad for every calm, uneventful race. There is usually some kind of
Clusterfuck.
clusterfuck to follow it. So it's like we had a really good race Friday night. We had a very subpar. It's okay if you missed it race Saturday, and then if you missed the Sunday race, boy, you got a lot of catching up to do.
Oh man, yeah, it was a very eventful race for sure.
For all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, you got any closing notes for the day?
I
Because I feel like we touched on
so
everything, if not most things.
how do you feel about them going back to the road course?
I'm okay with them going back to the road course. I like the Indy Road Course, actually.
Because I'm noticing a huge trend of drivers on Twitter saying that they want to go back to the oval.
I'm going to be honest, I'm okay either way. If they go back to the Oval, or I think they're mad because today was such an absolute clusterfuck of a shit show. I feel like if today had gone like the Xfinity race had gone,
Uh huh.
everybody would have been okay with it. But just because of today was today, I think that's where a lot of that conversation is sparking from, because it was just an absolute madhouse out there. But if they can actually get their heads on their shoulders and not take each other out going into turn one every restart, I feel like the road course is fine.
Yeah.
Because it's like when they weren't spinning out, or like even then, just the spinning out is that's just them adjusting to the new car. This is the first time you've been on the road course in the new car, and so like whereas they were spinning out every other lap, it was, you can kind of take that as, oh well, they're still trying to learn it with this new car. It was the fiasco going into turn one every single restart that really turned into a shit show, and so I really feel like the Indy Road Course itself is perfectly fine as a racetrack. It's just that the drivers need to be a little bit more patient going through turn one on the restarts.
Yeah.
Like I understand why they're not, because it's like Jeff Burton said, it's like it's hard to pass. You have all these positions just lined up in front of you. At the same time, it's like you can be aggressive without wiping on half the damn field. So, like either way, honestly, I'm fine if they go back to the oval, but I also don't have any problems with the road course.
Yeah. I know somebody was saying that they were thinking about doing both the oval and road course.
In the
Just
same year?
yeah, just adding a race to Indianapolis.
I mean, that could work too if they really want to go that route. Take away the Texas date, give us the
Yes.
oval. Like that could work too if they want to do it that way.
Yeah, because I was thinking about
You
that.
can't do it in the same weekend because there's a lot of prep that goes into this stuff. But
Oh yeah, it's gonna take a lot of work.
you'd have to have a month or two in between the races. But
I would say maybe do like because you know how Indy has like a whole week just for like qualifying.
yeah,
Maybe do it that week. Like have the Brickyard during that week, and then still keep the traditional Coke 600 Indy 500 weekend.
can you just
Because
do it like the week after or
the week before.
week before.
Let me see.
Maybe I feel like the IndyCars had the month of May forever though, so I feel like IndyCar needs to keep the month of May for Indy. I feel like maybe doing it afterwards would be fine, but I feel like
Because
I feel like we're
the All Star
encroaching on
race,
sacred territory.
the All Star race is a week before the Cook 600. So I don't know if maybe if they do it.
I don't know. Maybe do the Indy Oval, then the All Star race, then the 600.
Yeah,
That could potentially work, but I don't know if I want to do it the same month IndyCar's there, because that's all the hype is for IndyCar there. No one's even going to give a shit about NASCAR when Indy 500's happening. So
yeah. Because I would say
You'll-
maybe
you'll
do
like-
it the week after, but I mean, nobody's gonna want to go back to that. It's just gonna,
yeah,
everything's all done and over with.
that's true. I mean, you could go the weekend after, but I don't know. I don't know. They'd figure it out, but just like if they want to revisit the Indy Oval, I'm down for that too.
Yeah,
But I also don't have an issue with the road course.
yeah. No, the road course was pretty good, but yeah, I think Yeah, I think a lot of drivers prefer to go back to the oval. I know Eric Jones, Harvick, and Hamlin were kind of expressing their opinions about it.
Oh, they want to go back to the oval.
Yeah,
Damn. Well, they gotta wait at least another year.
yeah,
We'll see. We'll see how it goes because there's a lot of changes coming to NASCAR down the pipeline. So we'll see how it goes.
yeah. Well, we'll see. That's pretty much it as far as the Cup race. But I just have a couple things that are like off track.
You said you had something off track, or
Yeah, oh yeah, something that's not about the race, but as far as the
okay?
race,
What's that?
that's pretty much it.
All right. Because I don't think I have anything else, so I am pretty good to wrap this one up. If you don't have anything else,
Nope, that's it.
that's it. All right. So where the fuck are we next? Michigan. I think
Yeah,
it was
Michigan.
Michigan. All right. That'll be Michigan's another good track to be terrified of the safety of these cars because that's a fast ass racetrack too.
Yeah,
I don't think they're nerfing the. Are they nerfing the cars going to Michigan or no?
I don't think so. No,
You don't think so? Okay. Well, here's to
full
hoping and praying
horsepower,
that.
baby.
Yeah. Here's to hoping another Austin Dillon accident doesn't happen there
Oh
because
God.
remember when Kozlowski wrecked Dillon?
Yeah. Oh, I didn't mean to do
Right.
that. Dude's like literally flipping in the front stretch.
He did. He really did. I was like, bro, what do you mean? The stage is over.
Oh,
So yeah, here's hoping and praying something stupid like that doesn't happen because with these cars, just send them to the moon. All right. Well, I guess with that, we're gonna wrap it up here. We will see y'all after Michigan.
Yep. See y'all next week.